Hey everybody, my name is Scott and I want to welcome you out to my channel, How I Do What I Do. A couple months ago I did a video showing how to install a tankless water heater at my cabin up in northern Arizona. Well, at the time I hooked up the water heater to a 5-gallon or a 7-gallon. I have one of each. I have a 5-gallon propane tank and I have a 7-gallon propane tank. Well, at the time I hooked up the tankless water heater to those tanks because I did not have this big tank behind me in working condition, meaning when I bought the cabin, this cabin had been abandoned for years. And when I mean years, I mean years. So it wasn't like I could just call up a gas company and have them fill it up. I had to have the, what do you call it, that large propane tank, which is approximately 120 gallons. I had to have it inspected, certified, and brought up to the current safety codes for Gila County, which is where I'm at in northern Arizona. So they had to send an inspector out. The inspector had to look at it, fix it, service it, and do everything. I'm now ready to install that tankless water heater to my large 100-gallon, 120-gallon propane tank. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is the propane tank that was on my property when I purchased the property several years ago. It had not been filled in years, and consequently it had not been certified in years either. So I made a couple phone calls, found a company that could fill the tank and was willing to fill the tank, but prior to would do the safety inspection, do all the updates, bring it up to the current code, and do everything all with one company. So I found a company, and I'll put their name down in the description for you. If you're in northern Arizona, they were a great company to work with. But anyways, I'll show you what they did. They put a brand new valve or a brand new connection here with the cap, and I guess this is how they fill it. It's either to fill it through here or through here. I don't want to mess with these because I really don't know. They made sure that my gauge is working to tell me how full my system is. They put a brand new valve here. Now, I don't know what each one of these connections do, and frankly, I don't care. My main goal was to get this filled, make sure it's safe for myself, my family, and the surrounding homeowners, and to be able to get propane from the tank to my tankless water heater. So that was my goal. The only thing that I'm required to do is to paint it. Now they told me it has to be a bright color to where they can see it, a white, a yellow, like a tan. I don't think I'm going to do it in white. Might do it in yellow, make it look like the yellow submarine, or maybe a tan, who knows. Anyways, this is complete, it's ready to go, it's full. So okay, let's go a little bit over here. There's my tankless water heater, and I'm still running on the 7-gallon tank. Now, my propane comes up out of the ground, and everything has been pressure tested. There's no leaks. There's nothing. Everything's perfect. The only thing I have to do is remove this from the bottom. Now that I've showed you my new propane tank all full, and I've showed you where approximately where I'm at, I'm going to show you kind of my idea. I want to come up out of here with a T. And the reason why I want to put a T, I want to be able to have a barbecue grill right here. I'm going to run it about a foot. I'm going to put another T. The reason why for the another T, I eventually would like to put a concrete slab right here, and I would like to have my dryer be able to have natural or propane in the future. If I don't use it, I still have the T. I just want to do it prior to. And then after the T, I'll put a 4-foot piece. I'll come behind the propane tank, so I got to move this out of the way, and I'll just come up right here. Now, because my house is on stilts, I have to have a yellow flex piece that goes from here to my 4-foot piece. That is my understanding for code. Also, I am going to put from here coming out of the ground to my piece right here, I will put a yellow flex piece also. That is just so that I am to code. So right now I figure I'll show you the supplies I've had to buy. I bought the Pro Coat. It's made by Brass Crap Gas Connection stainless steel with corrosion resistant coating. It has to be yellow. I bought the ones that are, it's 7/8 OD, and it's 24 inches in length. It comes with a couple different connectors. One's a female connector, one's a male connector, so it comes with all that. I also bought an extra shutoff, which I found out I didn't need. I bought a 1-inch nipple, which I didn't need. I bought a different connector, which reduces down. These were cheap, nickel and dime stuff. I'll throw that in my entourage of parts, and then I got the Teflon tape. I've also got the connectors to where I can take this 4-foot piece that's going to go along my cabin, and I can connect it so it's securely to the side of my cabin. I've got 3 different caps that are 3/4 inches, and I am using 3/4 inch galvanized, I'm calling it pipe. But then I've got a couple extra 1-inch connectors. I've got 3 T's. I got a 4-inch for what they call a crap trap, or I'll show you when I get to it. I'm calling it a crap, garbage trap, whatever, that I have to put prior to going into the water heater. I got my 12-inch, and then I got my 48-inch piece. So these are all the pieces I'm using. Now all this together came to, the most expensive parts were these connections right here. I think they were, call it $25 a piece. So I might have paid $50 for these two. This was like $15. This they gave me for free. It was, so that didn't cost me anything. The rest of the stuff, I bought all this stuff at a gas company. Everything else I bought at Home Depot. So price wise, I want to say for this particular what do you call it, parts, supplies, I think I paid maybe $125, right in that area. Now, to fix the propane tank, to have it filled, certified, checked, and tested, like I said, it's approximately 120 gallons. That cost me about $850. With the amount of usage I'm going to have, I'm probably only going to have to fill it once a year, maybe once every other year. I don't know yet. This is my first time doing it. I can honestly say that the 5 and the 7 gallons, we've been up here several times since I installed it, and they feel as full today as they did the day I installed it. So, and I've just got a little 5 there in case one runs out, and it's never happened, not even close. Now let's get down to the tools. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of tools, but I have 2 pipe wrenches, an extra large set of channel locks, a little bit smaller set of channel locks. I've got a crescent wrench and then an even smaller pipe wrench. Since the first video I did, I never considered myself to be a plumber, but I now have a complete plumber's bucket. That this is nothing but my plumbing supplies. It's just, you know, my striker. I've got my Burnomatic, I think is what it's called. I got another one. These are just all the supplies that I'm using. My recommendation is to get something like this and keep all your plumbing supplies together. I'll put a link to where to get this. That's all this is, a 5-gallon Homer's bucket. And then this is made by Husky. I'm not sure if I'll put a link to Husky in my description, because I'm not sure if I can get that through my affiliate links that I have. But I'll put something similar to this, as well as all the rest of the parts that I've got here. I'll put in the bottom description in case you guys want to do this at your house, cabin, or castle. So let's get on with the video. Okay, first things first, before you start any of this project, let's make sure our gas is turned off. Okay, the gas is off here, and then we're going to go ahead over here, and we're just, okay, and then this is just a 90-degree gate valve, and when it's at a T like this, it's off. If I go ahead and I turn the gate valve up like this, that tells me that my gas is flowing, so we're going to make sure it's off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove this to get this out of the way, and then I'm going to take the cap off. Okay, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take off this existing gas line. None of this that's inside here is ever going to be used again. So there's no reason for me to keep this. That wasn't even tight. Okay, we'll just toss that aside. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take this cap off. I got these from my father that passed away 20 years ago, and I have never used them. So today, I'm learning how to use them. Okay. And I know that this is going to turn off to the right. That's just common sense. It's tight. Okay. There, that's done. Pretty simple. That ain't bad. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect a T to this, and then I'm going to come out of the T and I'm going to put the flex up here. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'll go ahead and get a T. We're going to put some Teflon tape around here, and then we'll tighten it all down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a T on here just like this. So I'm going to put a T like this, and then I'm going to put a nipple here like this, and I'm going to take this cap that came off of right here, right there, and I'm going to put that there. What I would like to do eventually is I would like to be able to take this off, put a shut-off valve here, and actually run that to a barbecue that is actually going to go. I would like to build a deck right here, so I would like to be able to plumb it up to my barbecue. So that's kind of my idea. So I'll go ahead and show you how I do this. Now the Teflon tape that I'm using, I used in my first video showing you how to install the tankless water heater. It's called Blue Monster PTFE thread tape. This is what was recommended for what do you call it, for propane use and for tankless hot water heaters. I assume you can use it for other stuff, but I'm just going to stay with what I've been using using so far. So that's the reason why I'm going to use this now. Okay, so first things first, let's take this apart. Let's start putting the Teflon tape on it. Now, I tend to hold the nipple in my right hand because I'm holding the Teflon tape with my left, and I tend to roll it clockwise because when I screw this on, I want to make sure that this screws on the same way and it doesn't unravel the Teflon tape. It's just something that I've learned over the years from doing this. Everybody's got their own technique, I'm sure. I'm just kind of, if you're a first timer, I'm just kind of trying to give you guys some tips. And I'm no pro, but it's really funny. Lately, I've been plumbing a lot of crap between rental houses, cabins, and just helping out neighbors because they're watching these videos. I'm starting to get pretty good at it. So anyways, this is all you do. And I'm pulling it a little, yeah, gotta go back a little bit. I do try to pull it a little tight on the threads because I want it to sink down into the threads. The minute the tape passes where I started, it will hold itself in place. And sometimes I tend to use a little bit too much. I'm not sure what the proper amount is, but I want to do a good job. So that's all you do. Then you thread your cap on, and I'll tighten it later once I get it into place. And then I'll go ahead and I'll put this piece on like that. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to do. And grab onto this with a pipe wrench, then grab onto this, and I'll tighten it all down. Okay, now let's go ahead. We're going to put some Teflon tape on this part. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put some Teflon tape on here. This is going to be a little bit more tricky because I've got to roll the Teflon tape around the nipple. So sometimes this can be a pain in the butt to do. Once you get around it once or twice, it's not too bad. It's just starting it at the beginning that's always a pain. So I'm not sure, like I said, I don't know if I use too much, not enough. But at the end, I am going to use some soapy water to see if I've got any leaks. So hopefully I will not have any leaks. And that should do it just like that. Now that you've got the Teflon tape here, that's all you do is you set this on top and then just screw it down. And you're going to have to go around a couple times. Just like so. Huh, wonder why that's leaking. I might take that off and put some Teflon tape down there also. Okay, got this right here and go around. I know I'm making little bites, I just got the camera too close to where I'm at, that's all. About another quarter of a turn. have it there. And it's kind of this harder than it looks. Right there. Done. Nice and tight. Next, what we're going to do is go ahead and tighten this down by the cap. So this is not too hard to do. It's pretty simple, as a matter of fact. Oh yeah, I think I already tightened it down, so we should be good there, just like that. And let's go ahead and grab our next connection. We'll go up here, which is the yellow flex. Next, we'll go ahead and put Teflon on this side. This is a 3/4 inch connection, but over here this is a flare fitting, so we don't have to put anything on this one. So do it just like you do the other pieces you were doing. Pretty simple. And then this will thread in to the T. Just like that. Now we'll take the piece we just did, just hand tighten it in there. We'll grab onto this with a crescent wrench and then we'll tighten it all down. Now we're just going to go ahead and tighten this with a crescent wrench. And I go ahead and I moved the shut-off valve just to give me a little bit more room with the crescent wrench. Since I am shut off at the tank, I'm not worried about any gas escaping. I am so excited to get this hooked up. Okay, and one more and that should be good. That'll be nice and tight. One more, it still doesn't feel it. Still one more. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Nice and tight. That's all there is to that. Okay, the next piece I'm going to hook in is my flex piece, and I'm just going to hand tighten it in. I'm not going to tighten it down yet. I'm just kind of doing it so that I know. Then I'll just kind of bend it up in the way and I'll lean it against the cabin. That's just for right now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build my next piece that I need to build that'll get me all the way over to where I need to connect. Now that you've hooked it in here, I don't have it tight, I just got it hand tight. This is the next fitting that is going to hook on to a 12-inch piece of galvanized. So that'll actually thread into here. So I'm actually going to thread this into the galvanized, and then when I go to put it on the side of the cabin, I can hook up this at the end. So just kind of showing you and giving you guys details on how I'm doing it. Okay, now that you've seen how I've done my first part, now this is the second part. The yellow line will hook into this fitting, which is a flare fitting, and then it hooks into a 3/4 inch that hooks into the 3/4 inch piece of galvanized pipe that I have. It's 3/4 at both ends, and this is 12 inches long. And then down here I'm going to put a T with a 1-inch nipple with a cap. This is in case I ever want to in the future either hook up an outdoor like a fireplace, or I want to hook up a what do you call it, like a propane dryer. This just gives me the option so that I don't have to do it in the future. I always do stuff like this, the what if. Okay, and then right here I will hook a 48-inch piece that'll go all the way to the tankless water heater itself. So let's go ahead and get this part put together. Okay, just like we did in the first part, we're going to go ahead and take it apart. We'll put Teflon tape here, Teflon tape here. We'll put Teflon tape here and here. Pretty simple. I hope you guys enjoy watching these videos, and I hope they are helpful. I have to admit, I enjoy showing people how to do this. I can't explain why. It's something that I started a YouTube channel for another purpose, and I have another channel that doesn't do very well. And it's mostly because it's all about me. It has nothing to do with anything. but I've learned through YouTube that people like to either laugh or they like to learn something. And I have a vast knowledge of different things. So I'm hoping that I bring something to the table. And if you enjoy what I do, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe at this time in the bottom right hand corner. It really helps out my channel. Also, in the affiliate in the description, I have an affiliate channel through several different companies like Amazon, eBay, and Home Depot. I don't receive any money, so to speak, from the sale, but I do receive a small portion. There's no additional cost to you, but it just helps out small creators like myself. And I'd really appreciate that. If I can help you, great. If you enjoy watching these videos and it keeps you from, I don't know, having to do it yourself, and you can hire somebody else, and at least you have a working knowledge of what I'm doing. And I'm pretty good at this. This ain't rocket science. It's pretty simple. So you're watching how I'm doing this, I'm sure, as I'm talking. And then I'll go ahead and tighten all this down. Just like so. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all this stuff down. Then I'll get back to you and I'll put the 48-inch piece here. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like before I get it all tightened down. Pretty simple. Okay, as you're doing these, whatever you do, don't rack yourself. This part does kind of suck because I can't think of a different way of doing it. Done. So, but just be careful, don't hurt yourself. Just because you hurt yourself and you rack yourself or whatever does not mean that you get out of working. I wish I was a better plumber and I understood how to hold this stuff, but hey, I'm learning as you guys are learning, so to speak. So you guys are learning at my cost. I hope I'm helping you guys. It should be good. I gotta do the other end. This is a little bit tougher. Actually, it's not. I think if I had a vise out here at my cabin, I could do this a whole lot easier. Note to self, buy a vise. Where there's a will, there's a way. Man, is that getting tight here? Maybe I'll put it on the rock. Put the camera back a little bit. There, that's easier. Note to self. Put this flat on the rock, flat on the concrete, and then you just gotta twist it. Okay, it's done. What do you think? Now I'll go ahead and put the other piece on here. Now, just like the other piece, you gotta put Teflon tape on it. This piece comes, this is a 48-inch piece. As you can see, 48 inches and 3/4 inch thread on this side. And we'll go ahead and put the Teflon tape on it. Oh, it slipped. So, just like so. Not too bad. And I tend to go a little bit farther down on the threads, even though the connection might only go down, whoop, maybe halfway, but I want the inspector to see, if they ever inspect it, I want the inspector to be able to see what kind of Teflon tape I used. That's the only reason why I'm going all the way to the edge. So you just go like this, just like so. Take this, and it threads on. At the end, I'm going to show you why I use certain pieces in certain areas, and then I think it'll make it a little easier. In fact, I might just go and do that now. I'm using this particular fitting here because it's got a flare here and it's got a 3/4 inch here. Okay, and it's going into a 48-inch 3/4 galvanized. Now, I'm going to back this up a little bit so you guys can see. So I'm going into this flare, which then connects this like this. Okay, follow me so far, everybody? Okay, I'm going to unscrew this just for a second. And the other side, there's a flare also at this end, but this is the male end. This male end will go into a shut-off valve that is underneath the tankless water heater unit. Okay, so whenever you buy this particular item, this right here, it's going to come with, one end is going to be male, and then it'll come with the flared end. Then this end will be female with a flared end, because that's the way it. You got one or the other. You can, I could get 2 fittings like this and put one at each end, but this is the way you buy it. So when you're putting it together, you have to think in that way. What's going to be my next connection? And if you don't have it when you're at the store, you need to buy that connection. Okay, so anyways, we got this. We'll go ahead and tighten this down now. Now, just like the other one, I found out that I could use the rock, steady it. What I do like about this one is I get to use a crescent wrench. And a crescent wrench is a whole lot easier to use than 2 pipe wrenches. I don't know how to have a mobile, what do you call it, a mobile vise. But this does work pretty well, and I am putting pressure with my right hand, holding it in place, because I don't want it to move. Be careful so you don't smash your fingers. And that's pretty damn tight now. Holy crap. One more. And gorilla hands. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this cap on here right now, because I need to put this someplace where I don't want to get dirt in it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the other end, just like we did that one. Again, take your Teflon tape and just roll it. Come on. After you get up to 7, 8, 9, 10 fittings, you'll get really good at it. And then you'll probably never use it again. So there again, go all the way to the edge of the tape. That way, if it is being inspected, the inspector can tell what kind of Teflon tape you used. The inspector so far that's come out here has said everything I've done has been very good quality work, and I have a cabin that is so far out, he does not want to travel back out here to inspect this when there's no need. He said if I did shoddy work, he probably would. Okay, now I'll go ahead and tighten this down. Okay, this one just might be a little bit trickier, because as I go around, it's going to hit. So let's see if I can spin it a couple times by hand. I guess I can't. It's not too bad. I guess you just got to take your time with what you're doing. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit because I'm about ready to hit it. This ain't bad. Even with showing you guys how to do this, it still is not taking me that long. Sometimes when I film stuff, it ends up taking me a couple extra hours, because I'm always setting up and moving things. Okay, that's pretty darn tight. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to install this next. Well, I'm not a happy camper. I forgot that I have to put a T here with this piece down here with a cap on it, and this is directly underneath the yellow line that goes to the tankless hot water heater. And I guess the gas comes this way and the T goes down. That, if any trash is in there, it falls down. I don't understand it, but the inspector says I have to do it, and I wrote it down. I just forgot to do it, and I want to make sure that I do everything correctly. So just like before, we'll use the crescent wrench to take it out. We'll just undo. Oh, holy crap. Maybe we'll undo it. Gorilla hands. that ain't too bad. Alright, and then what we'll have to do is clean up the Teflon tape on here and then re-Teflon tape everything back together. Not a big deal. So, now I'll go ahead and just kind of peel this tape off here and clean it all up, then I'll redo it. Can't believe I did that, but I wasn't paying attention. And in all fairness, this is the first one I've done. Making a mess. It's a monster of a mess. Hey, that's why they call it Blue Monster. Just like so. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get rid of all that stuff. Like that. I'm going to pull it out. I'll go ahead and put Teflon tape back on it again. Here, let me readjust the camera just a little bit. And get you a little wider angle. And we'll go ahead and put that Teflon tape on here again. So, not too bad. Hey, the best way to learn is from making mistakes. If you do it right every time the first time, yeah, you did it right. Yeah, you learned something, but I've learned more from my mistakes than anything. And we need a 1 inch. No, we don't. We need this and this one. This is a 4 inch. I'll show you why in a second. And I don't put this one on. I have to actually slide this pipe through an opening, and then I can put it on. And I'll show you why here in a second. That. Because I'm going to go ahead and dry fit it, and then I'll show you why I'm doing everything that I'm doing. Prior to that, I have to remove the old hose that I was using that went to the 5-gallon and the 7-gallon propane tank, so I have to remove that first. Okay, that's there. Did this. Need a cap for this. Cap goes here. Come on. Well, why does the cap not want to go? I don't like that cap. I got another one. For some reason, I've learned with galvanized, don't force it. There we go. Okay, done. Now I'll go ahead and tighten that on when I'm ready. So let me go ahead and I'm going to show you how I remove what we put on at the last video. So what I have to do is, here's my propane tank regulator. Comes up the black and it comes all the way. Well, I've got to take it all the way off to right here because that's where my fitting's actually going to be. So I can leave this on, but I need to take off from here down. Okay, first things first, we'll go ahead and disconnect the regulator. Put that underneath my armpit. Now I've already loosened this a little bit. And there we go. And we'll go ahead and take this piece out. Pretty simple. I can do the rest by hand, I think. If I twist the hose might do it all by itself. Okay, then we'll just go ahead and take this piece out. Okay, now that we got the old supply line from the propane tank and that small hose, we'll go ahead and we'll put this fitting in there. Now this is a 3/4 that'll go into the bottom of the gate valve. That's the shutoff at the bottom of the tankless hot water heater, and then it'll this is the flare fitting. So it goes right here, just like so. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take the piece we just did and I'll thread it in there, and then I'll go ahead and I'll tighten it up. Right now I'm just trying to get everything dry fitted. Okay, what I've had to do back here is I drilled a hole for my 3/4 inch piece to come through. and it'll come through like this. I'll put a T right here, then I'll hook my gas line and come up. Pretty simple. What do you think? If you haven't thought about it, I'd appreciate it if you could put a post in the description or in my comment section and tell me what you think. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this piece will connect to this. It goes through 12 inches. I'll put this facing down. This piece will come like here. It'll come back here, and it'll be right underneath. Pretty simple. Okay, I've now got this part dry fitted. I still need to tighten it here, but I've got the galvanized piece. This is where I'll hook in my dryer in the future, or an outdoor fire pit or something. Who knows? But I just wanted to have that there. And you never know, I might add another one. Who cares? Don't know. Anyways, you're gonna come this way. Okay, once we get to here, I'm not sure what this is called. It's called a trap, to where I guess any kind of debris comes like this and it falls, and you can take this and it falls out before it goes through here. Or I could have went the other way. Because of how close I am to the building to have to get behind everything, I chose to go this way. And then I got a small 1-inch nipple here. I got my 3/4 to flare here, and then it comes here, it comes like this, it goes right into the bottom. And that's pretty much all there is to connecting it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tighten all this up, just like I've showed you for the other stuff that I've done. And then I'll get back to you guys, and I'll fire this puppy up and show you the finished product. Now that I've got everything put in, one of the last things I need to do is to put a strap similar to this, like right here, and I'll probably just put one down there just to keep it so it doesn't move in case the inspector asks about that. Take my cell phone level. That's pretty darn close. Let's go down here. Should be close down here too. Put it right there, and green says level. It's got a 0 right in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and put a tie like right here, and I'll put one down there. Okay, I'll put a tie right here, right in the center. That'll hold it in place. Just like so. Come on. Now you're being a pain. That way I know everything's tied in. Okay, now that we got our tie there, and we got another tie in right here to hold it down, let's make sure our gate valve is shut. That's on the off position. We'll come down here and make sure this is in the off position. Now we can walk over to our propane tank, and then what we're going to do is turn it on, and then we're going to go back to what we just added, and we're going to check for leaks. So we go ahead and turn it on. Okay, not sure how far to turn it on. I've always been taught from scuba, I always go all the way till it stops, and then I just turn it 1/4 of a turn, just so that it's not sitting right against the seat. I don't know if that's correct for a propane tank, but I'm going to follow this because that's what I've learned from other things. Okay, now that we've turned on the propane at the main tank, let's go ahead and turn on the valve right here. And then we're going to use just some soapy water that I mixed up and just spray it on the connections and see if we see any bubbling anywhere. Nothing. Nothing. I want to see any kind of bubbles anywhere. I sure hope not. So far so good. I don't see anything. So let's go to the next part. Now I gotta go over here. Next part will be right here. Not seeing any bubbles anywhere. No, everything looks pretty good. Right on. I'm impressed. So from there, we can go ahead and turn on this gas. and we'll go in the house and see if we got hot water, which I'm sure we do. So I came out over there, went up, went across, right there, and went right into it. I put a flex piece here and a flex piece there. I have a connection right here for a future barbecue grill. I have a connection right here if I ever want to hook up a outdoor dryer. I want to hook up an outdoor what do you call it, fire pit, and then we come all the way across. I've got my trap down here, and then it comes this way right in, and then I got a shut off right here that came with the tankless. So that's pretty much all there is to it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, and I'm gonna go take a shower. Have a great day, everybody.